In the USA, shopping is a regular pastime. It is an easy sporting event for many, and it is also a luxury taken for granted in other less first-worldly countries. Shopping in the US is usually accompanied with a huge range of choices, space to roam, and parking for your car, and good value, quality for your dollar if you look for it, and great return policies. The list further includes no sales pressure, no lines just to view a store's merchandise, no physical separation of selecting a product, paying in another location, and picking up the product after payment, and not being sure if product picked up is same as selected, and no fakes in a department store. Authenticity, certifications, proof of passing many pertinent product testings are all highly regarded. Thankful Week at Sogo in Hong Kong is absolutely the opposite experience to the USA and not relaxing at all. You have to prepare yourself as if you are going into a fight, and you have to keep your wits up at all times to prevent losing any advantage. Imagine Black Friday in the US for 10 straight days in Sogo with no parking, not many product choices, huge lines just to view a product, mazes, and crowds of coughing locals who don't cover their mouths, more sales pressure than you might be used to, no guarantees of authenticity, no returns, and having your selected item held for hostage while you have to pay at another station not in direct view of your item. Also, prices and quality levels are vastly different between the East and West in the department store environment. I had carefully combed through the Sogo circular of all sales which were already advertised for the entire sales period of 10 days. I found 2 specific stations of crystal jewelry to look for some gifts for a friend. The station is supposedly selling a well-known London name brand using Swarovski crystals in all their jewelry. But after further questioning, actually, I figured out that they sell both the London name brand and other not-branded jewelry using Swarovski crystals. This seemed to me like a factory decided to take up a small booth during the sales period and could have mixed the inventory to get the higher retail based on the name brand, but for their own designed and inferior product. So after picking up on this subtlety, I got the sales clerk to direct me to only the section which is supposed to be the name brand jewelry only. The specific sale items were already sold out by the 3rd day into the sale, so I looked at some of the other items. I selected a very high-quality looking piece, but had to pay for it in a far corner of the store while leaving the selected item with the sales clerk. The cash register was a rickety, dirty, small one-man table with an old computer and buttons. There was also no room except to hand your card and some receipt written by the sales clerk over clothing racks and crowds. Thankfully, I got my card back safely. The receipt was returned as well with a stamp. When I returned, the item I selected had been handled. It was taken out of the name brand packaging and repackaged into a cheaper-looking box, no branding, and pushed through some cheap-looking cotton padding. It looked like street packing. I instinctively looked at the clasps to make sure the gift was at least in good functioning order. I also barely remembered to ask for a bag, cheap plastic, not even a shopping bag, because I was thoroughly frustrated and kicked myself later for not remembering to ask for the original branded packaging to rewrap the gift myself at home. After finishing up 2 purchases within 1.5 hours, I had planned and finished what I wanted in a short time, so I decided to go off the circular and check out one name brand handbag to see what all the hype was about. It took about another 1 hour in a waiting line inside the building's staircases, as there was no room to line up within the store corridors, and another 45 minutes to wait in another line in front of the store before being able to just enter inside the store to view any product. By this second line, the sign had a sticker which said the special sales item of the day was already sold out. This was the 3rd day of the sale before noon. Still, I had waited this long, I was determined to at least see what all the hype was on the balance items. The guard in charge of the line kept us behind a tape and was so single-minded that he did not want to let a few shoppers in at a time. He wanted to wait until the entire store was emptied before letting a large number of new shoppers in, even though every 5 minutes 2 or 3 shoppers left. I begged him to let as many people in as those coming out, because not everyone may be wanting or be looking at the same things. But his mindset was everyone was going to go in for the same sales item. Sadly, there was another internal line for checking out which was being serviced by only 1 transaction at a time. I reasoned again with the guard and said that line will take a minimum of another 45 minutes again, so might as well let a few people in. I was third in from the beginning of this new group of shoppers, so I wanted to just look and leave. I guess nagging is considered common in Asia. I think after the third remark I made, he finally let us in with ease of mind. He didn't feel pressured because even the ladies in front were coaxing him as well on the situation, and wouldn't it be sensible given how much room was unused in the store by now? Oh, friend, this is an instance in which I hope you remember it's the thoughts that count and not the way the packaging looks. Actually, I am so embarrassed and would have to spend more time and money to find better packaging to rewrap the gift again. During the same shopping trip, I went to an internationally well-known name brand that sells hand creams. The store was too tiny to fit more than a few people at a time, which unfortunately were already taken up by the sales crew. Boxes were everywhere that caused congestion, and in the US would have been considered a fire hazard. But it's a bit competitive for space for sales in Hong Kong, so this is considered normal and acceptable. Congestion of boxes and Hong Kong dollies were throughout the entire Sogo store. The scariest thing was I gave my credit card to one sales clerk, and in the sales frenzy, she hardly could get away but left for a long time. Finally, she asked me to wait outside the store where others were waiting for their cards too, and after a long while, someone new had my card but called out anyone who would claim my card. Thankfully, I claimed it before anyone could get a word in edgewise. But what if? The new sales clerk didn't help with my purchase, so we did not meet each other before, and he could not have known if I were truly the owner of the card, but didn't ask for my ID either. I also had to beg for a duplicate shopping bag just so I could rewrap my purchase as a gift at home. I was so disappointed. Is Asia the repository for all second-quality goods of name-brand handbags? I hate to say it, but I have seen better quality in knockoff goods than what I saw that day. The only things which I think were prime quality were not on sale. Even sale items should be of good value, which I was not convinced. I left after 5 minutes of looking around the entire store. Note to self, no, go to so go. Like no, way Jose, but different.